Listening very closely to that conversation is our Justice Minister, Ronald Lamola, who has just joined us on this Saturday morning. A very good morning to you. You vowed that these sanctions are going to be expedited and expedited quickly. How are you going to do that?
We have already issued a request of mutual legal assistance to various countries across the globe. And we have been engaging with the various of those countries, including India and Dubai. And we are in the process of ensuring that the help that is needed by our law enforcement agencies is expedited, it is done quickly and swiftly.
And what sort of response have you had?
We are not at liberty to divulge that kind of information, but I can say that there is communication, there is discussion, and we are hopeful that it will be at some stage yield positive outcomes to ensuring that all the necessary protocols are in place to ensure that the law enforcement agencies are able to do their job without any hindrance.
With what ultimate objective here? What have you set your sights on?
The objective is that obviously the Gupta family and anyone who might be associated with them is able to come to the country and respond to many of the issues that relates to them, and that can only be done when all the countries across the globe are able to help us to put the necessary pressure. And it is in that context that we welcome the sanctions by the US, because we believe it will help us in terms of the pressure, in terms of the other legal mutual assistance that we need from many countries across the world.
Minister, why did it take the United States to act on this first, to be first out of the starting blocks, when South Africa over the years has failed to do so?
No, we did not fail. Remember, we have sent a mutual legal assistance to the United States requesting various information through their own law enforcement agencies.
But we've known about the Gupta transgressions long before that happened.
Yes, and that's why
That's my question. Should we not have acted more swiftly a long time ago?
Yeah, but you will also know that some of the prescripts that the US has used, for example, is an executive order, which we don't have in South Africa. So hence we have taken the route of investigation and through various commissions of inquiries, which is also to act. And they were expected, as you are aware, to appear before the State Capture Commission of Inquiries, and they've raised their own issues, which were in the process of helping to ensure that at some point they are able to come and respond in our own.
Minister, I understand a lot of this is delicate, but can you take us behind the scenes as to how this all played out? How long had you known about the move that the United States was going to impose?
I can't really. I think it's up to the United States to speak to that. But what I can say is that we have sent our mutual legal requests to the United States, to India, to Dubai, and to various countries. And we are in discussion with all those countries to help us as far as possible with whatever information that we can get, including processes that will enable us to ensure that justice is brought, and also that all the monies that were stolen are recouped and brought to book.
Against what sort of timeline?
Now, obviously, we may not be able to put the timelines, but we clearly understand the pressure that society has, South Africans have, and the sensitivities that everyone is concerned that this has taken too long. We are fully aware of that, and we want to see it be done as speedily as possible.
I'm assuming that the 64 million rand in funding that's been provided to the National Prosecuting Authority to recover money illegally taken out of the country is part of this bigger process.
Yes, it is, and we have always said that we're doing everything we can to help the NPA to have the necessary resources that they need, because when you are fighting this kind of cases, corruption cases, it's a sophisticated syndicate. You also need sophisticated instruments financially and also through the human resource and everything. So we are helping the NPA to be able to have that kind of resource, and also they are able to execute and do their job without fear or favor to anyone.
Can I ask you, you're relatively new in your portfolio. You've just heard Ntobisi Jonas talking about the criminal justice system being seriously undermined. Not too long ago, you said that it was just a whole lot harder to prosecute because in many ways the criminal justice system was broken. I think those were the words that you used.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take to fix it?
It's obviously a long-term project. It's a reality that those that have stolen or looted state funds, they also looted funds that are expected to be channeled towards the NPA. As you can see, we've been struggling to get funds to the NPA, also in relation to them and human resource. But it's a project that we have said, at least while they are rebuilding and renewing their organization, they must be able to have some human resource or resources financial that enables them to do the job at hand at the present moment. And that's what we are working on, and that's what we are speaking of, the 64 million. It's measures that we are putting so that while they are rebuilding, they've got measures that enables them to do their job in the meantime.
I acknowledge that it's going to take time, but you also, on the other hand, have to be cognizant, surely, of the growing impatience of many South Africans who have not seen anyone in the dock yet.
Hence, we are saying with the 64 million and the other resources that we are ensuring, we are trying to avail for them, they must be able to do their job. And that is what we are looking at. The long-term project must not stop them from doing some of the things that could be done during their available facts and evidence before them. And we have already said that it's up to them when they believe they have got some evidence or whatever. It's up to them to make a decision without fear or favor of anyone. And even the president has said that there's nothing that stops the NPA from doing their job.
Well, let's talk about past presidents, if we can. What's your response to the decision regarding the former president, Jacob Zuma, Peter Maritzburg, yesterday?
Yeah, I think it's a fair trial. It's something that will have to be looked into going forward. But I can't really comment on it, except to say that I think the outcomes of the courts reflect what the parties will have argued.
You would be hoping for a successful prosecution?
I'm hoping for a fair trial to anyone, and that let the justice prevail.
In spite of the fact that it's really going to be very politically charged?
Yes, I mean, that should not be a challenge for our country. Anyone must, if there's a case to answer, let them answer and clarify their side. And I think our courts have proven to be very independent, impartial, and I think there will be a fair trial.
What do you say to the arms deal whistleblower Andrew Feinstein, who said overnight that former President Mbeki should also be investigated for his role in the arms deal?
No, I have not really considered that, so I will not be able to answer.
All right, let me ask you a final question then. The Commission of Inquiry into the PIC, the Public Investment Corporation, I think you said it's cost something in the region of 25 million rand. Again, what's the expectation coming out of that?
Obviously, the expectation is that it must be able to give us clear recommendations that will help us to revive the PIC, our investment direction, and also ensure that whoever might have been involved in wrongdoing is brought to book.
Ronald Lamola, thank you very much indeed. You're enjoying your job?